What's up, y'all? It's your boy Hawk. Welcome to another video. I know it's been a minute. It's been at least 2.5, if not 3 weeks since we dropped a video on this channel, but we're back. And what better way to be back than with some hot takes? Cover as much as possible, as quick as possible. But if you've been here before, you know the vibe. We ask Discord first. Discord always gets first dibs. If you want to be a part of the hot takes videos, you gotta join the Discord. Links in bio. Shameless plug. Quentin Southall for MVP. OG Anunoby will be the National Basketball Association Defensive Player of the Year. Listen, I like this a lot. Now, like I said, this is a couple of weeks ago, but as of right now, OG is still leading the league, steals per game, still a very, very good defender. And I'll be honest, I don't know if OG gets this hype if he doesn't campaign for it. Like, he went into this season saying, I want to be defensive player of the year. He's putting in the work. He's showing that he has the ability to do it. Let's just see if he can keep it up for the full season, but I'm not mad at this take at all. Unlimited says the Pelicans have the best future in the league because they have young players and draft picks. Listen, I'll be the first to say I love what the Pelicans are doing. I don't think Zion has been as explosive as I think a lot of people expected him to be this season, but he's still been solid for sure. 22 points a game on over 55% from the field. Brandon Ingram's been great. CD's been really good. I like what they're doing over there in New Orleans. And yeah, the future does look bright for them. They still have all of their picks. They have the Lakers pick for this year, which might turn out to be pretty good depending on how the Lakers do. We'll talk about them more later. The Pelicans, to me, are one of the young teams that are doing it extremely right. They have their superstar in Zion, and they have a ton of picks. And honestly, they have some pieces they can move around if they really wanted to try and make a splash on a big name later on down the line. I want to talk about this. Unlimited continues, says, I don't know if this is a hot take, but the Blazers still missed the playoffs. Remember, the Knicks started out hot and they missed the play-in. For me, the Blazers were one of the teams I had making at least the play-in. Now, whether or not they make the playoffs and if they win their play-in games is a conversation for a different day. But going into the season, I thought they had at least what it took to make the play-in. After seeing them for these couple of games, after seeing how well Jeremy Grant's looked, Anthony Simons has looked absolutely amazing. They still don't even have Gary Payton II yet. I will say, though, the Western Conference is really close. Like, just last week, the difference between the 1 seed and the 8 seed was like 1.5 games. Right now, the difference between the 1 and the 8 seed is 2.5 games, which is still crazy close. The Trailblazers are currently 11-9, sitting in that 7 seed, so we'll see what they can do, man. And I know Dame's still out with his injury. He's going to be reevaluated, and I want to say another week. And in that time, they've since lost to the Jazz, they lost to the Bucks, they've lost to the Cavs, they beat the Knicks. But my point here is there are some winnable games in Dame's absence. The Lakers are in the mix here, the Pacers are in the mix here, they play the Timberwolves twice, they play the Spurs, they play the Rockets, so it's not the end of the world with Dame being out, considering the rest of this roster have proved they can win games without it. Shout out to Ninja Deals. Doc Rivers should be fired. Listen, I think it's well documented by now. I'm not Doc Rivers' biggest fan, but I will say all the injuries that happened for the Sixers over the last couple of weeks, Joel, James Harden, Tyrese Maxey, probably saved his position for the Sixers, because there's no way you fire a coach for losing when you have so many of your starters in and out of the lineup due to injury. So is it a hot take to me? No, because I think Philly fans have been saying this for a while. A lot of fans of just NBA in general have been saying this for a while, but I don't think it's going to happen because just the injuries that they're dealing with. Boy Ewan says Jokic didn't deserve either of those 2 MVPs. Now, this is tough for me. I just got done saying I'm a Sixers fan. Y'all know Joel Embiid is my guy, and if you asked me, I had Joel Embiid winning last year's MVP. All that being said, I don't think it's fair to say Jokic didn't deserve those MVPs. Jokic had historic seasons. Like, no matter what way you look at advanced numbers, regular numbers, he had an historic season, for real. I think it's fair to say you might have preferred somebody else to get the MVP, but to say he didn't deserve it is just straight hate. Rudy Gay says Kevin Huerter will be most improved. Look at the stats and how much impact he has. Let me say this off the rip. If you haven't been watching Kings basketball, you're doing yourself a disservice. As of right now, they're the 3rd best offense in the NBA, and it's beautiful offense to watch. It's one of the most exciting brands of basketball because of all the pick and rolls, because of all the dribble handoffs, and a lot of it is how they're using Kevin Huerter, which is a lot of dribble handoffs and a lot of threes. And I even see his argument for most improved player here. Went from 12 points a game to almost 16 points a game, increased the amount of 3 points he's taken, but went crazy on the efficiency. He's currently shooting 47% from 3, which is absolutely insane. I want to give you some context of what Kevin Huerter is doing right now. If we look at just his 3-point percentage, he's technically 9th in the league. But when you look at the guys above him, no one's shooting the frequency that he's shooting at. The closest is Jeremy Grant at 110. And even at that, he still shot 20 more threes than Jeremy. Shout out Jeremy Grant, also shooting 48% on 110 attempts so far this season. Absolutely insane. But I will say I do like Kevin Huerter being in a conversation for MIP. I don't know if he'll win it, but he's definitely in the conversation. Rudy Gay dropped a lot, so we're just going to rapid fire through some of these. Lakers will be a 14-15 seed. I'll be honest, I completely disagree. Even before seeing the resurgence of how good Russ has looked off the bench, how good Anthony Davis has looked over the last 5 to 8 games. Going into the season, I thought the Lakers would at least be a play-in team. I never saw a 14-15 seed, so I'll just be honest, I don't see that happening for them. People hate on foreign players more than American-born players. So this idea of xenophobia was a really big hot topic, especially last season during Jokic's back-to-back MVP campaign. And the main argument was that the mass media, the ESPNs of the world, the Fox Sports of the world, even the Athletics of the world, weren't always showing the light and showing the love to the Jokic's, the Giannis's, Joel's, foreign-born players, and shining the light on some American-born players who may not be putting up as great numbers as some of the foreign-born players. I get the argument in theory, but then when it comes time to actually give hardware to the players of who's the best, Giannis has 2 MVPs and Jokic has 2 MVPs. So I get it in theory for sure. I do. The media might not show some of these foreign-born players as much love, but it could also be at the same time because the media realizes they're having an American audience. And so maybe that's part of it. But the hardware is going to the best players. And some of the best players right now are foreign-born, which is great for the NBA as a whole. Cavs will fall down the standings to 5-8. I disagree. I think the Cavs are actually going to be a really, really good team. I think they're top 4 lock in the Eastern Conference. 5 at the absolute worst. Definitely do not see 6, 7, or 8 in their future at all. Middleton will hurt the Bucks when he returns. I don't think he'll hurt the Bucks, but I do think there will be some sort of, I don't know if gelling period is the word, because they obviously know the guy, but they got to get used to playing with him again. I don't see a world where Chris Middleton hurts the Bucks. Ooh, Quentin Southall for MVP says Jazz 5 seed. I've been saying it for weeks, and I know it feels like a broken record right now. I'm truly under the belief that this team will not be the same team at the end of the regular season. By the trade deadline, I fully expect pieces to be traded away. But if they are still there, I don't know about 5 seed, but I can see him in the playoff. Weary says De'Aaron Fox is a top 5 point guard, not even close anymore. Point guard position is probably the most competitive position in the NBA. De'Aaron Fox is having an absolutely amazing season. 25 points, 6 assists, improved his 3-point shooting drastically, shooting 85% on 5 attempts. And he is having a really good season, but it pains me to say I wouldn't consider him top 5. And this is truly no hate to De'Aaron Fox, but off the top of my head, 5 guards I'd take over him: Steph, Trae Young, Luka, John Morant, Darius Garland. Once again, the point guard position is probably the most talented position in the league right now. Ooh, I like this one a lot. King 44, Ben Simmons will make a lot of progression throughout the season, and the Nets will make a move by the trade deadline. I don't know if the Nets are going to make a move by the trade deadline. Honestly, I don't know what move they could make. There's not a lot of moves they really could make unless it's trading Ben or like trading Kyrie or KD. They don't have a lot of flexibility in terms of trading. But I will admit, Ben has looked a lot better lately. For his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games, all have been double-digit scoring. There's 2 20-point games in here. There's almost 2 15-point games in here. Some really good efficiency in all of these games. So I think he's slowly but surely starting to come into his own, look more and more like himself. He'll get there eventually. Ant-Man Burner says Wardell Stephen Curry is the 2nd best player in the world. I'm not mad at that. If you could have said the best player in the world, and I wouldn't have been mad at that. Steph's having an absolutely amazing season. I don't know if numbers are still at this point, but at least last week I wanted to say I saw that his numbers were better than his unanimous MVP season, or at least on par with. So it's like right now he's averaging almost 32 points a game on 44% from 3, 52% from the field, and throw in 7 assists on top of that. So calling Steph the 2nd best player in the NBA, I'm not mad at it at all. Let's rapid fire these from my guy Ninja Dills. He said the Nets don't need Kyrie, play better without Kyrie. I disagree. I get the concept, and I get what you're saying. Kyrie was out. They started to win in a couple of games. I get it in theory, but when I watch this team, they need Kyrie. The way it's set up without Kyrie, KD has to drop near 40 bombs for them to win games. That's not sustainable over the course of a season, and then of course of, a deep playoff run. It's just not sustainable. This team doesn't have enough offense to be able to play without Kyrie. They need him unless they somehow trade him away and get offense in return. Continuing on, he basically says Donovan Mitchell is thriving in Cleveland because of the team scheme. How Mitchell is the go-to guy for points. He's a star of the team. He's thriving off the defense from Jared Allen, and he's a better duo with Mitchell than Gobert was. Very soon, Jared Allen will be better than Rudy Gobert because of Donovan Mitchell. I don't know if we'll ever get to the point where Jared Allen's better than Rudy Gobert, because a lot of what made Rudy so good had nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, to do with Donovan Mitchell. Rudy was elite and is elite still to this day because of his defense, because of what he does on the defensive side of the ball. The Jazz were a top 10 defensive team for the past 3 years. And I want to say one of those years where they were a top 5 team, and it was solely because of Rudy Gobert. You look at those rosters the last 3 seasons, and no one on that team could play defense outside of Rudy. I will say Donovan is thriving in Cleveland, and I think this is the best version of Donovan Mitchell we've ever seen, because he just has a better team around him. He has a go-to secondary ball handler and scorer, and Darius Garland, someone who can create his own shot and also create for others. Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen are great lob targets, and Mobley's growing more offensively, and we're able to put the ball on the floor a little bit more and more each day. Just as a whole, the Cavs are better than what the Jazz were putting out these last couple of years. And I'm really excited to see this Cleveland Cavaliers team as they continue to grow, and because they're still young when you think about it. At the end of the day, this Cleveland Cavaliers team is very, very young, and just happened to build right at the right time and with the right pieces. Oh, King 44, I didn't even see this. Thunder making the play-in. I get it in theory. Shai's been playing absolutely amazing and putting up some great numbers over these last couple of weeks, and honestly dragging this Thunder team to a couple of wins here and there. But to say they're going to make the play-in, I just, looking at this Western Conference, looking at these standings, I just don't see it. I just really don't see it. Because if the season were to end right now, the Dallas Mavericks wouldn't even make the play-in tournament. I don't see the Thunder making it over the Dallas Mavericks. But that's all we got for today. We didn't even make it to the TikTok comments or IG and stuff like that. I tell y'all all the time, if y'all want to be in these videos, you got to join the Discord. I see that first. I check that first. That's where we build a community. So go ahead, join the Discord. Shameless plug once again, links in the bio. But you already know what I'm going to say. If you made it this far, you are a real one. And I'll see you in the next one. I'm out. Peace.